So which is it? Inexcusable or phony? The Obama administration can't have it both ways. Representative Michele Bachmann joins us. Nice to see you.
Hi, good to see you again too, Greta.
All right, let me give you the first reaction. President Obama going from early May saying that this is something he won't tolerate with the IRS. Then, of course, we have Lois Lerner taking the Fifth Amendment, so there must be something she doesn't want to say. I don't know if she's guilty or not guilty, but something she doesn't want to say or fears it'll hurt her. And now it's phony. Your thoughts?
Well, I think clearly what we've seen for 5 years now of this administration is they have a complete inability to take personal responsibility for their actions and their policy decisions. These are ramifications, many of which come directly from their decisions, whether it's from the administration or whether it's from some of their political operatives that have also had impact on these decisions. At no time do they want to take responsibility. They want to turn the blame, whether it's Republicans or someone else, but not them. And I think that's what people are saying they've had enough with. Now it's time for now the buck needs to stop at the Obama desk, just like it did with Harry Truman.
You know what, though? That's sort of Republican, Democrat, Democrat versus Republican, the political fight. But I take a sort of another look at this, and I say, you know what? The problem is that I think calling it phony is really sort of demeaning to the many Americans who feel real pain from this. We had a woman farmer on last night, and she's a Tea Party member, and she got targeted. And she's just trying to have a farm. I mean, and the idea that it just doesn't matter, it's not important, it's phony. Well, you know what? It's real to the people who are the targets. And the whole idea that's like it's so dismissive and insulting to them.
Well, it is. It is dismissive. It is insulting. It is minimizing. It's not validating the concerns that people have. That's absolutely true. But again, there's two prongs here. One is diminish the messenger, but the other part is don't take personal responsibility. And again, we're not talking about a therapist. We're talking about the commander-in-chief. And these are serious issues. Just economically, the American people, the average household, was bringing in $55,000 a year when the president took office. Now it's $50,000 a year. That's a tremendous drop in personal income. That's having an impact, and especially when you see also the threats that people have to wage reductions, hour reductions because of Obamacare, and it's a lack of personal responsibility. But you're right, it's insulting to people's personal lives.
Well, you know, you talk about the economy, I think, and this is what I don't get, is that the administration, starting with Jay Carney, went out ahead of the president's speeches on the economy and said, you know, that this is important, these speeches on the economy, we're talking about jobs and everything else. But it was he who all of a sudden injected phony scandals, and nobody else did. It was Jay Carney. And then the president, you know, a day later, he uses the word phony scandals. Obviously, they got together and cooked this one up together. But if the economy is so important, why are they so busy all of a sudden trying to, you know, to sort of take a stab at these Americans who are feeling, you know, who are feeling the pain as though they don't, you know, they don't matter, that it's just, you know, and they're diminishing even their own message. It's you know, how can they sell us that the economy is an important speech while they're being, you know, sort of, you know, smarmy and cheap and doing this phony scandal stuff?
Because, Greta, all of this got to them. It got under their skin. And so they recognize politically, they read the polls every single morning, and they saw that the president is dropping like a rock in the opinion of the American people. There's only one thing people care about, their own lives and their own pocketbook. And it's not going very well for the American people. And who are they going to blame? The commander-in-chief. And so what does he do? He turns around and he blames the American people. So I don't think his messaging works for him when he talks about phony scandals. That's why I think we just saw the pivot this week, and he's got to pivot back to the economy, because I think he sees that that's the only way back up the polls for him. And after all, that's what it comes down to. Where are the polls for him?
But there's sort of this hidden scandal, which is a little bit off the target, but this whole thing that nobody talks about. What I think is particularly scandalous is the fact that you take the tax code, which is created by members of Congress. They write the tax code, and my guess is that 99.9% of the members of Congress don't do their own taxes because it's so unbelievably complicated. And so while everyone's sort of, you know, having these fights and throwing these punches back and forth, no one's actually doing the service to the American people to sort of clean up the tax system, make it fair, make it so that we understand it. I mean, there are so many of these sort of scandals about it. It's not just sort of the, you know, the words that are being thrown back and forth between people. I mean, there are really awful things going on with this economy and with the IRS.
Yeah. No, there really are, and this is the 100th anniversary of the imposition of the tax code. And I think the best birthday gift that we could give to the tax code is end it. And I'd love to see us abolish the IRS. I don't think that's out of line. We have two options. We could go with a fair tax, which is a national sales tax, which is a viable option. And the positive is that everyone would participate in the tax system to the measure of their spending in the economy. Or you could go with a flat tax, where everyone pays the same rate. That's true fairness in the tax code, and I know Dave Camp in the House, who's the head of the Ways and Means Committee, he's been vigorously trying to pursue tax reform. That's something that would actually grow jobs, that would help all of our small businesses, big businesses, individuals. Let's focus there. I'm a former federal tax litigation attorney. If you want to know one reason why we aren't seeing job growth in the economy, Greta, it is the tax code. We are the highest taxed nation in the world for job creators. Why do that to ourselves? Give ourselves an advantage, not a disadvantage. That's something we can all agree on.
And meanwhile, while these sort of scandalous things are happening, having so many impacts on Americans, is that the president and his press secretary are using terms phony when they mean so much to so many Americans.
Divisive and derisive.
Representative, thank you very much.
It's always great to see you.